So you want to know what's going down with the Overwatch League this year, but you maybe haven't been keeping up with all the latest news. Don't worry, my friend. I've got you. You've come to the right place. Here's everything you should know about Overwatch League 2022. By the way, timestamps will be included in the description if there's certain things that you're looking to know about. Anyway, to start us off, we're going to go over all things formatting related. So, the Overwatch League's 5th year is set to start on Thursday, May 5th at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. And yes, in case you've been living under a rock, the pros will be playing on an early version of Overwatch 2 to provide fun and refreshing gameplay. Oh, before I forget, side note with opening week, please keep in mind that APAC games are not starting until week 3 due to a COVID outbreak in Asia. Weeks 1 and 2 will only consist of North American games. So if you're a fan of like the Seoul Dynasty or one of the other teams from APAC, let's say, you're going to have to wait a little longer. Anyway, regular season games will typically be played either 3 or 4 days a week. Sometimes it'll be Thursday through Sunday, other times it'll be Friday through Sunday. It really depends on the week, so be sure to keep an eye on the schedule and social media, or maybe download the app if you're interested. Something else worth noting is that regional playoffs and one specific tournament this year are going to work a little different, with games being played through the entire week rather than just 3 or 4 days. That'll happen twice this year, so keep an eye on that. In terms of how many matches you could expect in a day, it should be hovering around the 5 mark or more if it's a day where both regions play at the same time. It could be more, it could be less. It really depends on the day, so keep a close eye on that schedule. Speaking of schedules, the 2022 season is set to last 27 weeks, and of course some of those weeks are going to be off weeks and everything, but that means that the season is set to end in November as it currently stands. Also, every single team, regardless of division, is going to play 24 regular season matches, which includes 6 matches per tournament cycle. That means that every cycle is going to have 1 extra week of play compared to last year, and this is all done to ensure an even strength of schedule, because guess what? Everybody's going to face each other a set number of times this year. Teams in APAC are actually going to play each other once every tournament, while teams from NA are going to play each other twice throughout the year. So if you're someone that's looking forward to a specific rivalry and maybe you miss out on it the first time, not to worry, because there's going to be another one at some point in the future, at least one, guaranteed. To give a brief rundown of what NA and APAC are looking like though, NA is going to consist of 13 teams, while APAC has 7. The only difference compared to 2021 is that the alexyOWL will be in North America rather than Asia. Now talking about the tournaments that you can expect this year, there's going to be 4. The Kickoff Clash, Mid-Season Madness, the Summer Showdown, and the Countdown Cup. These tournaments are split into 2 separate categories: regional tournaments like we saw during the pandemic in 2020, and global tournaments like we saw last year. The Kickoff Clash and Summer Showdown fall under the region lock, while Mid-Season Madness and Countdown Cup give us the chance to see who is currently the best in the entire world. The first 3 tournaments are all going to involve prize pools and those glorious bonus points that can make or break a season. In terms of the global tournaments, the goal is to have them be live events, but obviously that could change if safety proves to be a concern and all. No matter what though, we're still getting the same kinds of exciting tournaments as last year, along with some of the older stuff that works out better for people in other time zones. One final thing worth noting about the tournaments is that the final one, the Countdown Cup, is actually going to be the thing that serves as the play-in tournament to see who makes the playoffs rather than just playing for bragging rights. Tournaments appear to be a fun hybrid of the last 2 years combined, so that's pretty cool. When it comes to matches and seeding, that stuff is going to remain largely the same. Just like the last 2 years, typical games will be a 1st to 3 set, meaning that the first team to win 3 maps will be the victor. Playoffs and tournaments could work a little differently, but that is what you can generally expect the standard to be. In terms of your compensation per victory, 1 win is worth 1 point. Playoff contention and overall spots in the standings are still largely determined by your point total, so keep that in mind for the times where a team might have more wins than another, but is still behind them in the standings. Speaking of standings, the first and third tournament work on a per tournament basis, meaning that their record during that tournament cycle is going to decide if they make it or not. If your team gets hot at the right time, they can get in even if they've sucked up until that point. The Countdown Cup and Mid-Season Madness are a little different though. Your qualifications for those actually depend on your point total on the year. Only the best of the best are going to make it. On the topic of the best, we should probably go over playoffs real quick. The playoffs will consist of a multi-day extravaganza featuring 12 different teams. The top 6 teams from the West and the top 3 from the East automatically qualify, with 2 others from the West and 1 other from the East joining through the play-ins. That's pretty much how the competition and general formatting of the league shall go this year, though. I know it's a lot on the surface, but I promise it's not that bad. The next thing we should talk about is the game itself. As mentioned earlier, the league will be playing on an early build of Overwatch 2. It's by no means a complete game or anything, but it'll provide a breath of fresh air with its gameplay. It'll be a 5v5 experience, and it'll have all the changes made to characters and maps, which means that we'll get to see pros play the new hero Sojourn, as well as the new push game mode. Speaking of maps, push is of course set to replace 2CP, which means that we're still going to have 4 different map types played if a set does not end in a sweep. Here's the map pool to start the year if you're curious. Anyway, the game's also going to continuously receive new patches throughout the year that will be implemented every time there's a new tournament cycle. That means that the game should hopefully continue to feel different and balanced throughout the entire year, so long as the devs hold up their end of the deal. Okay, so that's great and all, but what's in store for you, the viewer? Well, the league has some fun things planned, barring any setbacks of course. For starters, live events are finally set to return to North America. As of right now, 3 events are in the works. The Houston Outlaws will be hosting their matchup with the Dallas Fuel on opening day, with Toronto and Dallas holding events of their own during the Summer Showdown and Kickoff Clash respectively. Please do keep in mind that this is subject to change based on the state of the world. Some of these events definitely could be cancelled. At the same time though, other teams might join in on the festivities as well, giving us even more of the fun events that we all know and love. I wish I could have the same optimism for APAC, but as of right now, it looks like most, if not all games, will be held online still. Fingers crossed that this changes eventually, but as of right now, I'd say that anybody living in the East is going to be out of luck. Another cool thing about broadcast and events and whatnot is that we're returning to a lot of the same in-person stuff for the people on the desk, and I'm hoping broadcasters as well, which means less technical difficulties in the long run. A lot of the crew is going to be in the same room together on the Blizzard campus, which is awesome for them, but also the fans. It results in a more enjoyable experience for literally everybody involved. Another interesting thing to note about the broadcast are the changes made with the talent this year. There's going to be a lot of new faces on the mic. Leg Day, Lemon Kiwi, Necra, and Trid are all joining the family this year, giving us a total of 5 broadcasting duos providing us with the play-by-play. When it comes to the old people, everybody except Doa, ZP, Sideshow, and Bren are back for another year. Some of these guys will be missed for sure, but I promise you that everything's going to be okay since this casting lineup is absolutely stacked. They're going to do a fantastic job. Alright, but what else do viewers get rewarded with? What kind of compensation can they expect? Well, perks for watching streams are back for another year. By simply connecting your Battle.net account or whatever else to your YouTube, you can get rewards. You get the typical token drops, of course, which are set at 5 per hour, as well as custom sprays, gray Overwatch League skins, and extra tokens on select match days. Keep in mind as well that there's more room to get rewards this year, since technically there's going to be more games, which in turn means more hours of watch time. Oh, and by the way, I highly recommend connecting your account before opening day. The first week is going to offer double tokens. Do not miss out on this opportunity. The league is offering a lot of cool stuff this year, and it seems like they're going out of their way to give us some new things as well. Unfortunately though, something did have to get taken away from us this year. Since Overwatch 2 technically isn't out yet, fans are not going to have access to the replay viewer, which sucks for anybody who uses it for extra entertainment, content, or for educational purposes. That really sucks for specific people, I'd say, but it's not the hugest deal in the world, and it's pretty understandable. And the fact that this is basically the only thing that we lose in a situation where we could get even more cool stuff later down the line makes this a pretty good deal. Fans are going to have it good this year. Between fresh gameplay, live events, and rewards, I'd argue that this year provides the best experience since 2019. It's going to be a great year to be a fan of this league, I promise. With that said, that's everything you essentially need to know about the upcoming 2022 season. This year is going to be so hype, there's a lot to look forward to, and I hope that this video gave you a clear idea of what to expect. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. I'm sure I or somebody else can help get you up to speed. Well, that's about all I've got for you, ladies and gentlemen. If you found this video helpful and you want more informative and discussion-based content like this, consider giving this video a like and subscribing if you're new to my channel. And until next time, this is ATP, signing out. Peace.